Okay, folks, so I was reading the comments on a recent upload, the video I did. Will season 10 give us a new sister circle? Basically, it's the question of if Karen does leave at the end of season 9, what will the sister circle look like? And the thumbnail, if not the picture for the entire video, the center photo was that one sign from outside, I believe, like the concession truck. And that was, something the cast always posts during the last day of filming a particular season. It's like, hey, we got a food truck out here, and it's like thanks to the amazing crew and whatnot. And people were immediately like, oh, where's Novi and Ebony? Like, are Sabrina and Karen not in season 10? What's going on here? Now, there were two other women in there. So it was Fatima, Danny, Andy, and Pam. So it's like, okay, well, what's happening? Now, in the comments, it was kind of divisive. People were like, wait, you mean a new sister circle? No, the show is run its course. It needs to end. And, that isn't an uncommon comment or thought that I see whenever I post videos like this. But I did see a couple of more uplifting comments, and I actually wanted to highlight, the theme or topic of those comments in this video. And it's like, no, keep the show going. We need more of our stuff out there. And that is true. I mean, I did a video on my other channel, My Kind of Entertainment, about the Southern fried rice fiasco that Kiki Palmer has. Ugh. But I do believe that, yeah, I mean, shows like Grey's Anatomy and so many other examples of predominantly white shows have gone on far beyond the expiration date because it's still making money. So why can't the same be done for Sisters? Now, to be completely honest here, do I want to see Sisters end? No, I don't. Do I want it to be better? Yes, I do. Truth be told, even though I don't give a flying F about the Oval, if new writers came in and did what Courtney did to Zatima season 4, or what the new writers did for Bruh season 4, oh, the Oval will be like my favorite show because they completely revamped it. Makes me care about the characters, and it makes it feel like I'm not wasting my time watching and reviewing it because I'm enjoying the ride. I think by potentially shaking things up, you can phase out some of these characters. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want people to lose their jobs or anything. But to be honest here, I feel like in a lot of ways, these characters either need to be completely revamped, give them fresh material to make them grow, or phase them out and let new sisters come in. I mean, think of it this way. Divorced Sisters is his own thing. It's not connected to the original series at all. And with Sisters, just because you have the core circle dispersed or possibly written out of the show, you can slowly phase in new members and keep it going. I think that could work. I mean, sure, if it gets to the point where ratings are just non-existent, then fine, get rid of it. But I think this could work if done correctly. And look, I know Fatima is a fan favorite, but even if she goes along with Zach, we still got Zatima. That's just my opinion on that. But I just think that, of course, when it comes to black content, it is rare to have a show last as long as Sisters. We know this. But if you don't want to completely lose the series itself, I know this is a weird comparison, but Disney Channel, I know, had the show Jessie. I was in college during this time, so like the whole Liv and Maddie, Jessie, and Shake It Up, those kind of shows, that I wasn't watching Disney. I was in college. But whenever I would come home on like any given weekend or maybe during the summer and I was watching TV with my nephew and channel surf, I was aware of what those shows were. I ain't gonna lie, I had a crush on Debbie Ryan back in the day. But I know Bunked was a spinoff of Jessie focusing on the kids that she took care of when she was their nanny, because it was like a summer camp show. And I think Bunked, finally, they pulled the plug on that a year or two ago, but that show had run for so long. And it got to the point where the kids were phased out of the show, and it focused on the other characters, because those some of those kids had grown to the point where it's like, yeah, they aren't really looking like the age of summer camp kids. So rather than focusing on the stars of Jessie, who this spinoff was created for, they were eventually phased out, and then these new characters became the stars. And they had a rotating cast as well, and it worked. So when I think about Sistas, you can kind of do the same thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I really do not remember those earlier seasons of A Different World, but wasn't A Different World like the first season focused on what's her name? Okay, not Vanessa, not Sandra, Denise, right? Lisa, right? Lisa Monet. I hope I got the name right. I know I probably messed it up. I know she's the one. She's the daughter that a lot of people had a crush on, and also married to Jason Momoa, Aquaman in real life. Yeah. Well, either way, A Different World was focused on her being in college, but then after that first season, she got fired or whatever because of real life stuff, and then that's when we focused on like Dwayne and Whitley and Ron and all the other characters. And The Different World blew up and became its own thing. Like it initially had a Cosby character, but then she was phased out and we went a different direction. I think with Sistas, you don't really need to change up the branding. It could still be called Sistas. It's just that you see a different sister circle. I mean, that's why Divorced Sisters is kind of meh for some fans, because it's like, that's not saying the show is bad, but it's like, did the show really need to be called Divorced Sisters instead of being called something else? So with Sistas, you have a new group of characters, 4 or 5 maybe. They could possibly be connected to the main cast. They don't have to be, but I think that if you shake up the formula, you could actually continue this show to go on 15, 20 seasons. I mean, hey, as long as, if it's giving me content, I ain't mad, because in the back of my mind, I am thinking like, okay, what's going to happen 2027, Jeremy, if, let's say, theoretically, season 10 of Sisters is that final season? Like, if we get to May or, yeah, like March or May of next year, and there's no reports of, hey, the cast is back in ATL filming Sisters season 11, then what? I mean, sure, there's still House of Pain, there's still Zatima, Divorced Sisters, but Sisters was that main show on the main network that was consistently coming out. Like, I'm not scared of, oh my God, Sisters is over, what am I going to do now? Because you all have made it very obvious that you would point me in the right direction and support my content regardless of what I cover. So there's that fact of, okay, so if Sisters does end, what's next? I know I did a video not too long ago talking about, okay, what's the next Sisters going to be? Once Tyler is done, what's next? Now, to be honest, I don't think he's really focused on BET like that. His main attention is on the streaming shows, like the Beauty and Black and whatnot. And yeah, if Miss Governor gets a season 2, I don't know if I'll review it, because the video I did for a season 1 part 2 did horrible. So it's iffy on if I'll watch season 2. I mean, I'll probably watch it. I don't know if I'll review it. And yeah, I know Beauty and Black is a hit, but it's not a morality thing. I don't know. Because it's funny, because I was actually talking to my pastor recently. He stopped by the house one Sunday after church, because he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot you lived over here. I just wanted to see you real quick. And, so like, hey, so what do you do? Because it's funny talking to the older generation about YouTube and all, because it's like, oh, I've heard of it, but, and then he's like, oh, well, Tyler Perry stuff, I know he has a lot of stuff, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, there are some things I review, some I don't, because it's like if I go up there and do scripture or prayer or speak in front of the church, I just, it's a morality thing. I don't know if I feel right doing that, on Sunday, and then Wednesday I'm like talking about, oh, this person had sex and everything, and it's like, I don't know. And he's like, oh well, I get that, and it was actually cool to get some reassurance, because he's like, I understand where you're coming from, because from what you're telling me, it sounds like, yeah, you could be doing a lot more on your platform in terms of all the Queen's men, or what did you call that? Beauty in Black? Yeah. But all money ain't good money. And that hit hard, because it's like, man, because trust and believe. I say this all the time. I know if I reviewed this show or that show, I know I would get a bigger following and all, but my own, morals and code go against that. So I'm like, so just hearing that from, man of God made me feel good about my choices, even though I could use the extra money. But yeah, I just feel like when it comes to Sistas, it could be saved. There is work. And think about it this way. You can give it the, and I know I said this before, Sistas could get the Big Bang treatment, where if you end this show, well, give it a prequel series where we get the sisters meeting in college. And I mean, think about it this way. You had the Big Bang Theory. Then you had the prequel series for Sheldon called Young Sheldon, which was so successful that they gave the spinoff a spinoff, George and Mindy's First Marriage. I look, Emily Osment is fine. So anytime I see that pop up, I'm like, hey. But yeah. So I think with Sistas, think of it this way: you got the spinoff Zatima, which is doing great. You got the new spinoff Divorced Sisters, which fans love it. And Tyler himself said he is hoping that Divorced Sisters could last as long as the main series. So, hey, a prequel series, why not? I mean, you can even have the old cast in there, like, well, mainly the four girls, Andy, Danny, Sabrina, and Karen. This could be like a Wonder Years-esque thing where they do narration, or, you could, what's that other show, How I Met Your Mother, where you see, well, I don't think you actually, I know of these shows, but I don't know these shows. What's his name? Ted, right? Isn't he telling the story to his kids about how he met their mother? So you could have like a sister circle where you see, the grown sisters who we know from the current show reminiscing about college. Heck, I mean, if you want to do something crazy, well, maybe I'm digging a bit too deep here, but let's say if Karen does leave ATL, all right, and she's gone from the show, you could have it where if this spinoff occurs, you could have the sisters meeting up for a sister circle, and it could be at any given time in the main series. Like, hey, this is the sister circle randomly meeting in season 2, and they're reminiscing about events from college. You see what I'm saying here? And from there, and the thing is, no Fatima. You don't need Crystal in this, because this is about the 4 sisters. And you can tell them, have them telling a story. And then boom, we go and see what the story was from the college days. So you could have sisters going on with a new sister circle focus. You could have Divorced Sisters. You can have Zatima. And then you could have this other prequel series. So yeah, if they keep it going, they keep it going. I'm not going to complain, so long as if there's content to cover and there's an audience and I get views, then I would continue to review the show. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Even if it means revamping the sister circle and slowly phasing out the characters we know and loved or hate to love or whatever, and give us new characters altogether, would you want to see Sisters continue? Or do you think it should end after season 10 and then we get a new show? But my question is, like, what is that new show, though? Well, how are they going to do it? So, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.